5280 Sports Network, good morning. Your morning minute on a Tuesday. Nate Lundy, Shawn Drotar in the aftermath of a big win for the Broncos in Monday Night Football. Shawn, overall thoughts?
Well, I think this was the game the Broncos have been trying to put together really since the season opener over Carolina. They played very, very well. The defense came out well. Maybe not got a lot of gaudy stats on defense, but obviously they're very effective in limiting Brock Osweiler. And after maybe a good opening quarter, really even the running game for Houston kind of the faucet got shut off there too. So I think the Broncos on defense were great. On offense, they finally got the running game jump started with the running back by committee that we said yesterday they would do. Devontae Booker, C.J. Anderson, and they got Andy Janovich involved, who was opening holes left and right. A very good running performance of the Broncos, and one they hope is sustainable because they'll need it against the Chargers.
Talked about this yesterday in the morning minute, said that Devontae Booker needed at least 14 touches. That's what we expected. He wound up with 18, the 17 carries plus the one reception. So they got Booker involved, which was really what Shawn and I had talked about. We talked about it on the radio show. We talked about it in yesterday's video, that we really thought that was something that they needed to be able to do. The frustration in the stands amongst the fans, and I know it's a frustrating thing for the coaching staff as well, those penalties that were happening along the offensive line and just the penalties in general. Now, you can forgive some of them, I think, from time to time. Occasionally, I actually think there is such a thing as good offensive holding if you're keeping your quarterback from getting murdered. But at the same time, I know that's a frustrating thing for fans and for the coaches.
Yeah, and the Broncos do need to shore it up. I mean, there were 8 offensive line penalties in their last loss, and it was a little better last night. But yeah, this is something that has to improve. I think it will improve over time, but there may be a cap on it because the Broncos, talent-wise, aren't really that solid on the offensive line, and they may need to hold, like you talked about, to keep Trevor Siemian ambulatory. So I think that's possible. I said they'd pick him off 3 times after the Osweiler would throw 3 picks to the Broncos. He threw no picks.
But they still got the 2 turnovers. So
yeah, they held him to the second lowest average per pass attempt of all time. Yeah. For a guy that threw 40-plus passes, except for Jesse Palmer, who's more famous as being on The Bachelor.
Yeah, that was pretty bad. But great defensive performance, great performance offensively, as Shawn talked about, with the entire running game, which includes Janovich. Gary Kubiak even acknowledged Jeff Hireman's play last night after the game. So overall, very solid. Not really the definition of a short week, the way you do when you have to play on a Thursday night, but still a shortened week as you play Monday night, now turn around Sunday against the Chargers. A very big game, Shawn, because the Chargers have already beaten you once.
Right. And the AFC West is very tight. The Broncos managed to tie the top of the division with the Oakland Raiders, and they're going to need to keep pace there as well. So yeah, this game is huge. It's in Denver. It's a game they want to get done. Fortunately, they're rested in maybe a short week by a day, but they've also had a 10-day gap between yesterday's game and the one that preceded it.
So we'll enjoy the win over the Texans for today, then we'll start looking ahead to the Chargers. We'll do that on the radio show tomorrow morning, Mile High Sports Radio, starting at 7 a.m. And of course, here with your morning minutes and the coverage across 5280sportsnetwork.com as well as milehighsports.com. For Shawn, I'm Nate. See ya.